Welcome. Today, we are diving into a really mind-bending theory called the quantum fiduciary sphere. It's this radical idea for a new financial system where your ethics don't just matter, they literally become a form of currency.
So just imagine for a second, what if being a good person actually made your money move faster? A world where every single transaction is judged not just by its dollar value, but by its virtue. In a system like that, doing good isn't just a moral choice, it's a direct economic advantage. It sounds like science fiction, I know, but this theory actually proposes a way to make it a reality.
The core idea here is all about a fundamental shift in how we picture our financial world. The theory basically argues that our current model is just too flat, too simple. It's proposing we move from a two-dimensional disk to a multidimensional sphere, one that can capture a much richer and frankly more human picture of value. Okay, so let's break that down. Our current system is described as a fiduciary disk. It's flat, simple, and it's totally focused on what you have, your financial assets. But the new model, that's a social globe. It's multidimensional, weaving together your financial data with your social and ethical data. The focus shifts from just what you have to who you are and the impact you're having on your community. And what guides this whole new social globe? Well, the theory borrows this really interesting principle from Latin law, bom pi di familia. It basically means the standard of a responsible person acting for the common good. And in this system, a central AI is programmed to treat actions that meet this standard as the very definition of economic efficiency. So that's the big idea. But how on earth does a system actually connect something as fuzzy as morality to something as concrete as money? The theory says it's done through two powerful algorithmic threads that are specifically designed to weave our financial and ethical worlds together. And these two threads are time and trust. We're going to see how time gets used as a moral filter to control the speed of money, and how trust acts like an access key, deciding which doors that money can even open. First up is thread A, time. Now, this is where it gets really wild. In this system, time isn't some constant, unchangeable thing. The actual speed of a transaction is actively manipulated based on the ethical origins of the money involved. It's essentially a two-track system. If your capital comes from some dubious or socially harmful source, it gets routed through what's called a tunnel. It's slow, it's high friction, the transaction just drags on, costs go up, and value is literally lost in time. But if your capital's origin is validated as ethical, it gets the expressway. The transaction becomes instantaneous and gets maximum efficiency. So the crucial takeaway here is this. In the quantum fiduciary sphere, being good is the same as being fast. Morality becomes a real, measurable competitive advantage that's hard-coded directly into the financial plumbing of the world. All right, now for that second thread, trust. If time is acting like a brake or a gas pedal, trust acts like a key. It doesn't just slow things down or speed them up, it determines which doors are even open to you in the first place. See, in this system, every single user builds a cumulative trust score. And it's not about a single good deed, it's about the consistency of your positive, ethical actions over a long period of time. You can think of it almost like a moral credit history that quantifies your reputation inside the system. And this score has absolutely massive consequences. A user with a low trust score, and it doesn't matter how much money they have, is barred from high-impact social investment opportunities. Their money is effectively locked out. But a user with a high trust score, they get full access, which allows their capital to flow into the system's most meaningful and impactful opportunities. So in this model, trust stops being just a feeling, It becomes a functional currency. It is the ultimate factor that determines where your capital is allowed to go and what kind of impact it's allowed to have. So what happens when we weave these two threads together? Time as a moral filter and trust as an access key. Well, what you get is a kind of grand unification. You get a system that creates a completely revolutionary new definition of what economic efficiency even means. This right here is the system's grand thesis. The incentives are perfectly aligned. The path of the greatest integrity, the path of the greatest community benefit, is hard-coded to also be the fastest, most efficient, and most profitable way to operate. The system doesn't just hope you'll do the right thing. It engineers things so that being good is the most logical economic choice you can make. Of course, a system that algorithmically judges our morality raises one final, absolutely crucial question. If we build this, Who designs the algorithm? Who gets to write the code that defines what is good? And that's the thought I'll leave you with.